Mayday, mayday! It turns out, this guy right here might actually be so much better than any of us could have expected. Merry Christmas, my friends! Today we have some pretty good news for the Montreal Canadiens. This in itself is a gift. Because Kent Hughes is the Santa in this situation, the guy who keeps on giving, who keeps on providing for the Montreal Canadiens with Lane Hutson, a draft pick back in 2022, 62nd overall. How in the hell did all of the NHL's teams pass on Lane Hutson? Because today, we are diving into the statistic of just how many assists have been scored in the NHL this year. Before we reveal the numbers, let's go out there and take a look at Lane. Last year, he had 60 assists in 82 games. This year, he's got 30 assists in 37 games played. He's on pace for 66. That's where the 60 came in. He's got 35 points in 37 games right now. On pace for 77 total. Absolutely outstanding production out of this 21-year-old 5'10 left-handed defenseman. And right here on the Montreal Canadiens subreddit, courtesy of GoHabsGo31, you can see in the 2025 calendar year which players have had the most assists. Tied for number one, Nikita Kucherov and Connor McDavid, with 79 assists each. Kind of crazy, admittedly, seeing how close they are. The fact that they're actually tied is pretty remarkable. Number 3 overall on most assists of the 2025 calendar year list is Nathan MacKinnon, who scored himself 68 assists. That's one more assist than everybody's favorite number at the moment. And then tied for 4th, it's Mitch Marner and Lane Hutson. Marner with 66 assists on the year, Hutson with 66 assists on the year. Lane Hutson's a top 5 player in the National Hockey League when it comes to 2025 calendar year assists. Now, of course, this is calendar year. This includes January, February, March, all the way up until now, and it's not going to include what happens in January 2026 and beyond. This is split between last year and this year. But either way, Lane Hutson is still better than literally every other NHL defenseman and the majority of all the forwards. He's only got Marner, MacKinnon, Kucherov, and McDavid in his own ballpark. And that, in and of itself, is quite remarkable. For reference, let's go out there and take a look at some of the other names that were mentioned. You've got Connor McDavid, Connor Mac. He's got 44 assists this year in 38 games. He's on pace for 95 assists. The year before that, he had scored 74 assists in 67 games. Underwhelming for McDavid's standards because he did have a year with 100. And then the exact same thing can be said about Nikita Kucherov. Kuch is on pace for 78 assists this year. He's taken a little bit more of a goal-scoring emphasis in the early parts of this season. And also, with the fact that the Tampa Bay Lightning haven't really had the highest productivity out of the rest of their guys, you can debate that Nikita Kucherov still has a bit more to give. Second half of the year, Kuch is going to hit so hard, but he had himself 144 points in 23-24, 100 assists, 121 points the next year. This year, he is on pace for 110. So definitely the point production, the assist production has slowed down in some capacity, but he is still Nikita Kucherov. I don't think anybody's going to go out there and take away from that. Then you have Nathan MacKinnon, whose presence I probably shouldn't be surprised with to see as number 3 on the list, but a part of me was just a tad piquant about how MacKinnon's name was listed here. Because when I think of Nathan MacKinnon, I just think of all the goals that he can score. I think of the power in his shot, and I think of the way he's able to place things on net. I mean, his career high in assists was 89. but that year was compiled with a 51-goal season, good enough for 140 points, a Hart Trophy, and a Ted Lindsay. MacKinnon this year is going to go back to those ways as he is on pace for 139 points on the year. He's also on pace for 68 goals, which I think this season, it really cements Nathan MacKinnon's status as just a no-nonsense, total monster on the ice that can just will things whenever he wants them to happen. Sure, he's got support in Natchez and Cale Makar, but he can still go out there and do things himself. There's a reason why his 68 assists were good enough for third in the NHL the previous 12 months. And then you have Mitch Marner, whose run in Vegas has unfortunately been kind of sprinkled with a bit of controversy here and there. I mean, Marner has gotten off to a pretty all-right start to the year. 38 points in 35 games. He is on pace for about 89 points over a full 82. That is lower than most of the seasons that he has had. Last year, he had 102 points in 81 games. The year before, he had 85 points, but only 69 games played. And then he preceded those seasons with 2 back-to-back 95-plus point years. So Marner and his production has taken a hit ever since coming to Vegas, but you can say there are a number of reasons for that. He's not playing with Matthews anymore. He's not playing with Nylander anymore. Mark Stone was out for an extended period of time. Say whatever you want about Mitch Marner. He's still talented, but this season he has been slow compared to what we're used to seeing out of this guy. Just take a look at 23-24. The guy had 59 assists in 69 games played. Do the math over 82, and that's a point production pace of, let's just quickly do the math. 59 divvy 68 multiplied out by 82 is a 71 assist pace. Okay, that's actually kind of similar to what he's on pace for this year. But of course, the games played being so limited in this season and his goal scoring being a lot better puts Marner in a tougher spot this year. But of course, that doesn't really matter. He did spend the first half of the year playing alongside of Matthews, which is why he can say he's on this list. But Lane Hutson to be included on this crop of guys right here totally cements his status as one of the best NHL players, at least point production-wise, assist playmaking-wise, in the league. And then when you talk about defensemen, I mean, head over to the D-scoring race. Obviously, Cale Makar is number 1, and I think Zach Werenski is still number 2. Yeah, there you go. He's still number 2. Lane Hutson is 4th right now, with Evan Bouchard also in the mix too. There is a lot to like out of Lane Hutson and his overall profile in 2025-2026. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Lane Hutson's assist production being near the top of the NHL for the 2025 calendar year? How do you feel about him being included alongside of names like Nikita Kucherov, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, and Mitch Marner? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.